So me and Paul's been at it again. We've got the rocker cover off. Just having to check, make sure there's no signs of any damage at all anywhere. Doesn't look to be. You can tell signs of it hasn't had a oil change frequently, so it's a gunk in that. Well, we just took the rocker cover off, didn't we? Just to check it.
We did.
So I'm still waiting for the locker key to come, and when that comes I'll get the inlet manifold off, the exhaust manifold off, and then we'll get the chain off and the rest of it, and then we'll go from there and hopefully get this head off in the next couple of days so we can check it. So
stay tuned.
Aye. Right, so this is mine and Paul's second day on this of the strip down. So we ended up taking the full front end off. We've noticed someone's been in before, and they've rounded off all the bolts. There's a couple of bolts rounded off at the back of the inlet. The water pump bolts are rounded off. It's been a nightmare. And then I've got the locking tool, locked the flywheel up, and if you can look at the intake cam, that's straight, and the inlet, the exhaust, it's off. So I can't even get the locking tool on. Is that the right one? Can't even get it on. So I have to knock the timing out, maybe take the chain on, and then get it chain off and get it on. So a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, it's been alright to take apart, and it. Oh God, Paul. It's been alright, isn't it?
It has.
Not too far.
Yep.
Just the only issue mainly we got into was rounded off bolts, like I say. I think someone had been in as well. These ones down here were all rusty and they were just rounded off. It was a nightmare to get out. We couldn't even get the bottom one out on that side. We could only get the ones off at this side. So we could just separate it slightly. But
lots of hard labour from Steve.
Yeah, it's really hot as well, isn't it? It's hot as well. Yeah, it's bloody hot today. So we're struggling with the heat and struggling with rounded off and rusty bolts. But we're getting there. We're getting there, Paul, aren't we?
Absolutely, we're getting there.
So yeah, see you in a second. So I've got the head off eventually, but then where is it? Well, you can see it there. I don't know if you can see that there. The valve seat actually sticking out. So you've got the two valves. So that must be two bent valves, and the last one's got the valve seat hanging. So I don't know if that's normal with them. The rest of them are alright. By the looks of it, it's just them. So, and we noticed that the exhaust was out of time. So I think someone's tried to time it up and they've messed it up. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's the issue. So I don't know where we're going to go from here though. So I've decided I ain't buying one of them tools to do this job. So what I've done is I've got myself a bit bar, knocked a chunk out of it, put a hole in it, so this fits in there like that. And I've got myself a little bar, wherever I put it. Put it straight through. Like that. And then I can take up the tension, loosen it off, and I can stick it back on. So I'll loosen it off and I'll show you how it works. So that's loosened off. So you just pull it back, and then obviously you just push it down. Put the nut in. See? So you'll have to do some finessing with it to get it to go in properly, but it works. So as long as it works, that's the main thing. And then push it down, put your bolt in, and that's it. Cushy. So when I put it back together, I'll put I'm not very well at the minute, so I'm not making a video on this. So I'll just piece it together bit by bit, but when I put it back together I'll just video the full thing. So at it again, heads at the machine shop getting done. So we're just going to give it a clean up, get rid of all this oil, and yeah, I'll show you it once we've done it. So we've been polishing and more polishing, haven't we, Paul?
We have indeed.
But it's come up
What a result.
absolutely beautiful. You must agree, guys, that's come up lush. Obviously the engine's not put back together yet, but that's come up amazing.
You can even do your makeup in this door.
Yeah, you probably could. It's not finished yet, but yeah, it's come up amazing. Paintwork's brilliant on this. I've got to paint the bonnet. There's a couple of stone chips, so we're going to paint this. I'm just going to blend it in, and there's only one little bit on the rear, just here, so I'm going to paint that as well, blend it in, and that's it for the painting. Oh, I'll do these little chips as well, if you can see that, small little chips. I'll paint them in as well, so I'll mask it to this line, just paint that. Come up beautiful. So yeah, very happy.
Very happy.
Very, very happy. Obviously once the engine goes back in, we're going to polish it again and make sure it's absolutely gleaming inside and out, and mechanically sound to 100%. That's what we want, don't we, Paul?
Yes, absolutely.
100%, and then we're going to put it up for sale. We'll see how much we get for it. Alright guys, heads back from the machine shop now. So we've got the 2 new valves in. It's been skimmed, so what I'm doing now, I'm just testing the valves. So I'll put some fluid on the top, make sure it doesn't seep through. I'm going to leave it for a couple hours and then see if it's still there when I come back. If not, I'm going to take the valves out, I'm going to lap them and then put them back in. Change the valve stem oil seals. But it did smoke a little bit, so I'm still tempted to change the seals anyway, but I won't have to lap them in. So we'll see what happens. The exhaust seals have been done on that side, so there's just the rest of them to do. So it'll be a quick, easy job doing them seals. So I'm going to leave that for a couple of hours. I'm going to clean up and get back to this when I get after a couple of hours, see what happens, and then we'll start rebuilding it. Right, so the head's been done at the machine shop. It's the valve seats have been put in. So what I'm doing now is I'm just doing the valve stem oil seals. Getting them done. Just putting some tape around this because it's keeps falling off and it's doing my head in. I mean, it's just a cheap set off eBay. So every time I was doing it, it was coming off. So, coming off now. Right, so let's get cracked on. Right, so I'm taking the second one out. So I'm just getting it down, just enough to get the keepers out. That's one, that's 2, I'm going to get them out with the bigger one. That's 1. That's 2. Take it back on the side. And just take her off. Make sure I've got all of this side so I don't scratch the surface. That's it, it's off. Take our spring. And that's our stem oil seal. So get along those pliers So I haven't got the tool to take them out. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. That's it. So all you do is just wiggle it side to side and pull at the same time. So that's that out. We'll just give that a wipe round with a cloth. Right, where's my icon? So I'll just put some oil on it. There we go. Just so the new one slides over alright. So got our new one. The brown. And what I've got is a straw. And because it's not big enough, I'll put a slice down the middle of it and stick that over the top where the ridges are. So that's now fit over the top, and then I just slide me seal over the top of it so I don't damage the actual seal. There we go. That's it on. There's no damage off these little bits there that the keepers sit in. Put that out the way, just don't want it scratching the bottom. Same again. Just be very careful with this edge. Spring. Set that on first really. Spring on. And tighten her up. Just making sure the valve's going through the hole, which is tight. We can tip her over then. You know, keepers. Push that round to the other side, then I can put the other one in the front. That's it. So what I try and do now is put them up close against where it's supposed to go, then let the spring out. It's easier said than done. And that's it. Once it starts going slack, take it back up again. So hold this end. Take her out. Make sure I'm not just scratching. Perfect. And that's her in now. It's easy as that. So I've done 3 now. That's the old ones. Probably didn't need doing, but I'm just doing them anyway. So I'm going to get the rest of them done, so I'm going to put you on time lapse. You depress it because there's a little valve at the bottom. So you're just going to fill it up with diesel. And clean her out. You can see the oil coming out already.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
you clean it. Right.
Given it's a petrol car, why diesel?
Because it's an oil-based fuel, isn't it?
Yeah. So you could use petrol.
I don't know, because I don't know what it'd be like on the seals. I know diesels, with it being an oil base,
Yeah, right. Right.
and petrol isn't. That's what fills these up, is oil. So really, you're better off using an oil-based cleaner.
Oil-based cleaner, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And so we'll go on to the oil. We'll fill up oil and see if you go stiff. We know they do, but just show the camera. So just filling it up with oil. Right. And rock solid, you can't move them.
Yeah. See that? Yeah.
That's perfect. And then what we want to do is we want to let it all out, because they've got to be loose when you put them back in. Because you could end up bending the valves. That's loose.